If you're wondering where you are, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Daisy Simiri, and there is a reason why you have landed on this video and you have chosen this video. So let us hope that this video will bring you insight, and let's just dive into the video. Today we are going to talk about moving on in all aspects. Trauma is what happens when something scares you and you do not get over that fear, and that is why you talk about I'm traumatized. Let's let me give us an example that has just crossed my mind. So basically speaking, I cannot personally as a person, I cannot sleep while facing up. Sizilala, I cannot sleep while facing up, and this is because when I was young, I think I was 3, my grandpa, he passed on when he was at home, and that is the position that he was kept before, many things happened and I happened to see him. And growing up, I just knew if I lie in that position, I might die. I know that is a very stupid example, but to this point, I can never ever get myself to sleep while facing up. And some people are so much comfortable sleeping like that. I just don't. When a trauma happens, one of the things that we fail to recognize is that we are mentally trapped in places where we still crave the experience of what happened. The easiest example to use is like a breakup. So when I break up with my boyfriend, do I really miss the breakup, or do I miss the love that he was giving me, or do I miss the texts, or do I miss the attention? I really don't miss the breakup. What I miss here is the experience that I had with that person, with that situation, or with whatever happened that I need to move on from. The moment you decide to acknowledge the pain, or to acknowledge your young self, or to acknowledge whatever it is that you had to go through, that is when healing starts. So to move on, you have to acknowledge your pain, you have to acknowledge what happened, or you have to acknowledge what is happening. The thing is that you have to know that you can never change your past. You could never change your past. Whatever happened, happened. You cannot change it. You have no control over what happened. The intensity of which it happened, it already happened. And you have to realize, if it pains so much, maybe you just underestimated the pain that you are going through. That was me a few years back. Let me tell you guys, I would be hurt, but I always never wanted to express how hurt I was, or how bad I was feeling at that particular moment. And one thing that I always tell myself, that the only moment that I'll cry is when the thing that I'm crying for is worth my tears. I would be hurt, extremely hurt, but I just like, it's not worth my tears, it's not worth my emotions, so I'm not gonna cry. And the more that happened, the more I realized that I used to bottle a lot of things up, and by the time they exploded on me, let me tell you guys, I did not love it. I did not like it at all. Also, you have to realize that sometimes it was an unhealthy attachment that you had with this person, or you had in this situation. Let's take for instance, you're explaining it to someone else. Now you're like, I'm telling you, he was kind and caring and he was consistent, but there's just these other times that he would verbally abuse me or physically abuse me, but those are the times that I made him angry. Sometimes you really don't love them. You're just unhealthily attached to them. And when I realized most of mine were unhealthy attachments, I just was like, yeah, it was what it was. It's time to move on, and I really moved on with my life. You have to recognize the depth of your heart. Don't underestimate whatever it is that you went through. Don't underestimate whatever it is that you're going through now. Know that it pains. It pains to that extent because it hurt you a lot. It doesn't pain to that extent because you are being emotional or you're not able to express your emotions. So when someone does something and it triggers you, you take a deep breath and you go back. You think, why am I feeling the way I'm feeling right now? What is the root of this feeling? Why am I insecure? Why don't I trust easily? Who broke my trust? Who was the first person to ever break my trust? Why can't I cry? Why can't I express my emotions? Who told me that being strong is about bottling up and not crying and not feeling the way you are feeling and not expressing your emotions? When you get to the root or to the start where that problem started, now you have acknowledged the base of that pain, and anytime it happens, because you know these things happen, like it's different people, same scenario, it will always have a root. Everything that triggers you will always have a root. So always just go back and look for the root. I promise you're gonna find it. The worst part of it, but imagine things move on. And I don't want to be the person who says that things happen because of a reason. It makes you strong. What doesn't kill you makes you strong. Part of it, yes, but let me tell you guys, there are some scars. There are some things that happened to you that will always remain scars in your life. You just look at it and say, this one broke me. This one really broke me, and the joy of it is just moving past it and not staying in that circle for too long. It will be a disservice not to say this one, guys. Another aspect of moving on is being true to who you are and being true to your emotions and being true to your identity. Most of the times we try to be like everyone else but ourselves. Most of the times people that you look up to, we try to dress like them, we try to talk like them, we try to look like them, we try to go to places where they even go, and in that we forget who we really are and what makes us us. And escaping from yourself can also be true. You know, some people even escape from themselves through a relationship, drugs, pornography, you know, just funny addictions. Not even funny, just a lot of addictions outside there. One mistake that most people make is they think changing your life is when you fix every piece that you thought was falling apart and bring it back together. But you change your life by being who you are and showing up exactly as who you are. One rule that I have in life that has really helped me is, who and what am I willing to sacrifice for? And when I answer those two questions and I answered those two questions, it really like just brought me back to myself. At the end of the day, I will always have me. And people are funny, man. Like, people will leave, people will go, but you are the one that is left with the responsibility of picking up the broken pieces and moving on. Some people will hurt you and you won't even get closure, and you won't even get a simple apology, and they will break you. You will feel broken, but at the end of the day, you are the one that has the responsibility of picking those pieces back together and moving on, because at the end of the day, you got you, babe. You don't need closure, you don't need an apology, just move on. So guys, that is all that I had for you today. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, comment, share, Yeah, and that's all. I love you guys, and God loves you. Bye.